So there was this guy in Louisiana back in the 1800s. His name was Jacques. His family had come down from Canada a while before, and they had French roots, so he was a Cajun, a really good cook, a master of Cajun cuisine. In fact, he became so well known for his cooking that he was invited to Washington, D.C. to organize a state dinner for a visit of the Tsar of Russia. So he decided on seafood, nothing too bland, but maybe kind of crispy, and with some garlic, like his mother had taught him. So, some crispy, garlicky, hot shrimp. Rice is good, but he thought he'd add some fresh chips, too, for a garnish. So, to sum up, crispy, garlicky, hot shrimp with fresh chips was chosen by Jacques for the Tsar. Now, this is really important, so let's review. What was the main dish? Hot shrimp. What kind of shrimp? Crispy, garlicky. What kind of garnish? Fresh chips. And what did the chef do? Well, he chose this. This was chosen by Jacques, chosen by Jacques for the Tsar. You know, we could also highlight the first letters, mostly, in each word, and since we're working on Russian, put their Cyrillic equivalents down here. Ka, G, Cha, Sha, Sha, Cha, Zhe, and Tse. If you've humored me this far, you may have already figured out why we're doing this. We've just listed the 8 letters involved in the 3 Russian spelling rules, and this silly story about Jacques is just a way to remember what might otherwise seem like a random group of letters. There are 3 spelling rules you need to know. In American textbooks, they're often called the 7-letter rule, the 5-letter rule, and the 8-letter rule. We'll go into the details of each in other videos, but let's take a quick look at which letters are involved in each rule. The 7-letter rule involves the first 7 of these. The 5-letter rule involves the last 5 of these letters. And the 8-letter rule involves, well, sensibly enough, all 8 of them. So, why do we care about all this? Knowing these spelling rules will help you avoid needless spelling mistakes that will cost you points on tests. These will come up in adjectives and in verb endings. They're very, very common issues. So to keep track of these 8 letters, be sure to remember the story of Jacques, the Cajun chef. If you don't like Jacques, maybe it's too silly or not silly enough, here's another one. Or you could just think of your own mnemonic device. It's worth it because if you want to do well even at basic Russian, you'll need to have a good handle on these spelling rules.